This is a video of Claressa Shields and Papoose. And y'all may say, oh, this is so nice. This is so sweet. I wish I had a man like this. Or this is what men are supposed to do for their women. Well, actually, no. This is Papoose being a helpmate. And no woman wants a perennial helpmate to be with. And even to the women who say they want a partnership, this isn't even a partnership, because if it was, where are the videos of her doing this for him? He ain't doing nothing for her to do. A woman looks to be your helpmate instead of you being her helpmate. A woman wants to be on the sideline. She don't want the man to be on the sideline in every scenario. At some point, she's going to require Papoose to be the one that's out in front instead of her. And if it doesn't happen, she's most likely going to do the same thing to him that Remy Ma did to him. Remy Ma is trash. I'm not on her side. But I'm definitely not on this perennial, lifetime long helpmate shit for men to do. Women biologically want to look up and adore their mate. This is him looking up and adoring her. So some women may think this is cute, but women do not do well with reversed roles. They want a man to be a man.
All right, so let's dive into this. Let's dive into this one. So we got a video by a relationship expert. At least that's what the people are calling him, right? And we have Papoose and we got Claressa Shields. And, you know, he's kind of on the sidelines. He's apparently a martial artist and a boxer. And, you know, he's kind of playing that role. The guy called him a helpmate. I think that's one of the worst things a man can call another man, is calling him a helpmate. But, you know, I think Papoose is more so kind of used to being in that role. And I do kind of agree with the relationship expert as far as, like, in general, for the most part, most women, especially very feminine women, they want a man to take the lead. They want to be able to, like I always say, the man, you know, you should have your kingdom built, have your purpose, have your mission in mind. And then a woman comes in and she can assist you in whatever areas that she's able to, you know, whatever abilities, whatever skills she got as a woman that can, you know, add to what you got going on. That's cool. But we see Papoose kind of playing that opposite role here. Now, where I will say is that a woman like Claressa Shields, she's going to be more open to having a man that is a helpmate, because if she is successful at being a boxer, I'm not too familiar with her record or, you know, what she really got going on. But if she's very successful at being a boxer, that takes some masculine qualities, right? You know, what do most successful athletes have? They have discipline, they have consistency, which, not to say women can't have those things and still be feminine, but it's more of a masculine quality to be consistent, because, you know, I know women that can't get out of the bed when they have their period, right? And even though they might have a lot of things going on, sometimes they just can't do it. Now, when you are a high level athlete and you winning championships or whatever, then, you know, you're going to look past those things. You're going to fight through that pain on those days and make sure you still go get your practice in or make it to the matches and all of that. So her being who she is, she probably has a little bit of more masculine qualities. So she would be attracted in those moments to a guy more so like Papoose, because I guess we've seen him in this kind of helpmate or more so like feminine man type of role. Not to say like that's how he acts or his mannerisms. It's just, you know, the role he's played in his relationships, right? We don't really hear too many stories about men holding down a woman while she's in jail, right? And I think that's what their story is with him and Remy Ma. I'm not too, you know, familiar with that as well. I think he held her down when she was in jail. She got out and I guess she started cheating on him or something. These are things that happen to more so like feminine guys, you know, guys who aren't taking the lead in their relationship. So yeah, but like I was saying, as far as Claressa goes, how she is, the masculinity that she's able to tap into to use in the ring, because, you know, even the aggression, you know, you got to have to be a fighter. Not to say aggression is masculine or feminine, but more so controlled aggression. That's a masculine thing right there. Being able to control your aggression, use it in sports, to use it in a way that, you know, your mind is still on top of it. You know, you're not just going out like, you know, when we see women who are mad, they just, it gets chaotic, right? It gets chaotic. Women have a more so chaotic aggression, or feminine men, they got more so chaotic aggression. When you see a guy that gets mad and he just want to start punching on everybody around him, he starts beating women and stuff like that, that's a feminine man. So what it is their relationship is still technically polarized. And what does polarized mean? It means like one person is on the feminine side, one person is on the masculine side. So when they're in these moments, they're like that. They're still polarized. But I'm guessing a lot of the times throughout the day when she's not fighting and she's at home and, you know, she just wants to be a woman, they're more so kind of meeting in the middle, which is like, yeah, long term, that's not really going to work for a relationship. You got to kind of keep it polarized as far as the masculine side and the feminine side, because, you know, that's just how I've seen relationships that last a very, very long time. When we talk about 10 years, 20 years, it's usually like that. Not to say the man got to be the masculine one or the woman got to be the feminine one, but those roles, they got to kind of stay into that. So the problem with him doing this and being the helpmate here is when she doesn't want to box, or when she's wants to be more so feel like a woman in her feminine energy, and he doesn't know how to like step back into that masculine role, then yeah, it can be a problem later down the line in their relationship. So I do somewhat agree with the quote unquote relationship expert when it comes to this situation. But like I said, it's 2025. You know, we do have people with these kind of fluid type of relationships. I like more so traditionalism when it comes to my relationship, as far as, you know, let me be the leader, let me be the head of the household, let me do this, let me do that. And, you know, you get in where you fit in, you know, you play your roles, you be that nurturer, you be that caretaker, you be the, you know, the helpmate on the sideline, you know, giving me my water because I can't open my water bottle because I got these gloves on. I'm trying to go fight, right, babe? And, you know, you right here for me. But, you know, if Papoose likes to play that role, he likes to play that role, you know, like, it's a lot of men out here. They not really in their masculine energy 100% of the time. And, you know, if they're finding success in dating and relationships, then that's just what it is. And you got to realize too, because outside of even sports now, you know, there are a lot of women, you know, who are doing things that are more so masculine, and they don't know how to flip that switch. You know, if you got a woman that's a business owner, when she come around you, she got to understand, like, okay, you know, she got to flip back into her feminine energy. But while she's running her business, she in meetings, taking calls and stuff, yeah, she gonna be more so in her masculine energy. So, you know, she got to be able to flip that switch if she is gonna be a business person. Because at the end of the day, as a man, especially like a masculine man, you got your own stuff going on. You don't really care about her accomplishments, her money, or what the fuck she got going on. You know, you want her to be happy, you want her to be busy, have stuff to do. But at the end of the day, like, you know, you more so caring about her motherly qualities and her wife qualities. Like, those are the things you really care about, you know, not what she got going on. But like I said, and there are guys that don't think like that nowadays, and there are women that don't think like that nowadays. And those are the people who are finding each other. If you're like a super feminine woman, you got to find a super masculine man. And, you know, masculine man, you got to find that feminine woman. And a lot of times there's far and few in between. So, you know, a lot of people are playing these mixed roles, and that's why we got a lot of failed relationships and a lot of baby daddy, baby mama stuff going on. But, you know, that's just my opinion on it. You know, let me know what you guys think about this video. You think me and the quote unquote relationship expert we're tweaking right here? Do you think that this is perfectly fine? Do you think we're looking too deep into it? Let me know what you think about it. Give your boy a like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, love y'all. I'm out.